The Gina and Matty podcast.
Last week, we tried Dua Lipa's famous drink concoction, which consisted of Diet Coke, pickle juice, and jalapenos, and it was weird, right?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I didn't have a problem with it. I like a little bit of pickle juice, and I don't mind jalapenos.
Would you have it again?
God, it's a lot of effort. I'd probably put a little something else in there if I was going to have that combination
That'd
again.
actually be quite nice for a cheeky Friday night.
Has she done it again? Has she Dua Lipa?
Well,
What's
done it again, and even Chef Gordon Ramsay decided to try this viral drink and absolutely hated it. He spat it out and said, Dua Lipa, for God's sake, girl, you'll ruin your vocal cords. So here's this new weird food combination, and you and I, Matty.
So what is it?
Are we going to, well, do you want to, let's ask Dua.
But you know what I love? So I get vanilla ice cream and I put olive oil on it and sea salt. I don't know, so many people that I've showed it to, I've brought to the dark side.
They brought to tears.
But it's so good. You have to try
I think
it.
we should all try this tonight. Everyone listening needs to try.
Let me know what you think.
Oh, we'll do a Lipa because that's what we're about to do.
Yeah, this might become the new apple with peanut butter.
If I was because that drink that we tried, everyone did it, right?
Yeah.
It was everywhere. It was on the Today Show. All the radio shows did it. Everyone did it. After us. Everyone did it, right? If I was Dua Lipa, I'd go, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna make up something so weird because I guarantee you every breakfast TV show, every breakfast radio show will try it because that's what we're about to do again. Maybe you should what I like to do is put grass in a blender with a little bit of dog food and then put some olive oil in it and then people do it. But it's okay. So this one is, what have we got? You've got it in front of you there.
We've got ice cream.
Just plain ice cream?
Oh, it's a little bit melted. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Ice cream, sea salt, and light tasting olive oil. Okay, you're going to go first, Matty Basley.
That is so soft.
My husband likes it like this. Stop.
Can someone isolate that for me and cut that up so I can replay that as a grab?
Okay, what do you think? A little bit?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Crack some salt on it. Why aren't you doing yours as well?
Because now I'm going to watch you. You can eat yours while I do mine. All right.
Like any excuse to eat ice cream for breakfast, I am all about.
See, I'm not an ice cream lover.
What?
No, I know. How weird is that? I don't really like ice cream unless it's
because there's no tequila in it?
Well, if it's out of Rod's cone. How is it, Matty? Oh, I put too much olive oil on.
See, I love anything salted.
Yeah, I like salted.
It's good.
Is it? Hang on.
It was really good.
I think I put too much oil and too much salt on mine.
I think you went a little light on the salt for me. Can I have a bit more salt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
Oh, actually.
Well, look, there's olive oil is delicious and it's good for you. You can just drink it by that. You could have just by a teaspoon.
Actually, this is good.
No, that's a good amount of salt.
Is it good when the first thing you put in your stomach for the day is ice cream? Oh, I did too much salt.
That's a win for me. I'd still prefer to put Milo on top of my ice cream, but that's a win for me.
Oh, I've got crunchy salt now. I feel like I've gone for a swim in the ocean. Too much salt. Hang on.
Good stuff?
I don't hate it, but I don't love it also.
Gina and Matty.
All right, this is where we like to have a look at the 3 biggest news stories in the last 24 hours according to Google Trends, and that just pretty much tells us what you have been Googling in the last 24 hours in and around the coast. Surprisingly, G,
Yeah.
no one's been Googling the results in my soccer match. Not even in the top 20, which I was very shocked at.
Probably everyone tuned in this morning.
Well, you know what? We don't want to spoil it. They were just like, I just want to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah, a 2-all draw for those people wondering. I missed it earlier. The number 1 trending topic in the last 24 hours is George Negus.
I've always been fascinated by what makes places and people and politics in particular tick. Politics is the best way to solve problems without killing each other. When people say to me, when I meet you, you're just like you are on television. I said, no, you got it wrong. On television, I'm just like I am. And if you think you know me, you do. Which means sometimes you'll tell me how wonderful what I've done is, and sometimes you'll feel like chucking rocks at the set.
One of the best to ever do it. Veteran journalist and broadcaster George Negus passed away at the age of 82 following a battle with Alzheimer's disease, his family said in a statement. Now, the statement said Negus passed away peacefully, surrounded by loved ones, and thanked Australian healthcare workers for supporting him in the best possible way during his final moments. Despite the challenges diseases like Alzheimer's inflict on families, we still shared beautiful times, laughter and happiness Minister together in recent times, and we also learnt a lot. Negus will be remembered as the founding host of Foreign Correspondent and the mainstay on 60 Minutes. You ask someone like Ian Leslie or Ray Martin and they'll say he was 60 Minutes. It was essential viewing on a Sunday night. He was on Dateline and other watershed Australian news programs. He's survived by his wife Kirsty and sons Ned, Serge and grandchildren. I had a little bit of a deep dive on some of George's interviews because there isn't journalism like it anymore.
No.
And this is George Negus talking to then Prime Minister Bob Hawke.
They describe you as an ex-boozer and womaniser. Ex. Right, the ex is definitely correct for both. I heard your question, and that's your answer. You take a lot of convincing, don't you?
Love it. Always on the front foot, always on the front foot. And this is probably one of the more famous interactions George Negus had. It was with the then UK Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher.
Why do people stop us in the street almost and tell us that Margaret Thatcher isn't just inflexible, she's not just single-minded. On occasion, she's plain pig-headed and won't be told by anyone.
Would you tell me who has stopped you in the street and said that?
Ordinary Britons.
Where?
In conversation.
But I thought
in
you'd
pubs.
just come from Belize.
Oh, this is not the first time we've been here.
Will you tell me who and where and when?
Ordinary Britons in restaurants,
How
in
many?
cabs.
How many?
I would say at least 1 in 2.
I'm sorry, it's an expression I've never heard. Tell me who has said it to you, when,
These
and
are
where.
people that we meet in passing.
But
and we
of course you
obviously
cannot
raise
say
the
who
question
or where.
of the state of their country with them. And they tell us, yes, we have a tough Prime Minister, but she's a little bit pig-headed. She won't be told by anybody.
Isn't this interesting? Even the tone of voice you're using is changing from what you used earlier.
Any of the journos these days would have absolutely crumbled,
Absolutely.
but he stayed on the front foot.
Wow.
Valet George Negus. Second most searched thing, we'll pump through this because I spent a bit of time on George. It is the Copacabana.
Her name was Lola.
Yeah, well, the reason the coast is the number 2 searched topic is because we spoke about it yesterday on the show. Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister, has now had to defend purchasing a $4.3 million cliff-top mansion here on the coast, acknowledging that he earns a good income as Prime Minister while also saying he knows what it's like to struggle. He said, I'm planning to be in my current job for a very long period of time. Jodie and I are getting married, as is known, and I'm pleased about that. Jodie's a coastie. She's a proud coastie. Now, he's getting a bit slammed, saying it's like in poor taste. He's not reading the temperature of the country.
Did he announce that he bought that house, or did that
Absolutely not. So
Yeah.
when that happens, it becomes public knowledge.
Yeah.
So it's on the public record. He didn't go do like a Cribs thing on his Instagram
No.
going, hey, check out my new pie.
Yeah.
Look at the view. It's sucked in people who can't buy. Like,
Yeah, he's allowed to buy a house. I love that he bought on the coast.
regardless of where your politics sit.
Yeah.
Like, of course the Prime Minister can afford to buy a house.
Yes.
I don't know why that shocks anyone.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But, politics is politics, and people always look for
he's
something.
openly spoken about his childhood and he
Struggled.
had a struggle,
Yeah.
poor upbringing.
People are saying, but your electorate's Marrickville. If you're not going to live in your electorate, he's like, well, I haven't said that I'm moving. It could be the holiday home where he and
Yeah.
Jade's come up when the Mariners are playing.
And
He's
where
gonna stay.
where they'll retire to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it could ruin his chances of winning.
I thought you were going to say ruin Copacabana.
No.
Nothing can ruin that beautiful, beautiful suburb.
Well, God, it's getting attention, that's for sure. So
Yeah.
if you were already looking for the houses at Copacabana, it's probably going to bump the price up a little bit.
Definitely.
And just quickly, the number 3 trending topic is Cooper Kosh. Now, not too many people would know who Cooper Kosh is when I say his name like that, but he is the Netflix actor who has cleared up some rumours surrounding a nude scene in Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. Now, it's a show that's been created by Ryan Murphy that centres around the Menendez brothers, their high-profile trial for killing their parents in 1989. There's a scene in that, if you've seen it, where he's filming a nude scene in the shower for one episode, and you dirty birds here on the coast have obviously been searching for it because it is the 3rd most searched thing. And he has said, just to say, I wasn't using a prosthetic while filming.
Cooper is the one that plays Eric.
Okay.
Just for everyone out there.
Yeah, I've been watching it. I don't know if I like it. I have to stop watching it. It makes me feel weird.
He said to Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live, he said, just to say, mine is not a prosthetic, much to the audience's delight. It does play a big part. Maybe they should have called it One-Eyed Monster. Lyle and Eric Menendez. Sorry. Anyway, those are the 3 top trending topics here on the coast.
Gina and Matty.
I love nicknames.
Yeah,
love
I do
them.
too.
I love
Aussies love them.
I love giving people nicknames. It's one of my favourite things. Bumped into someone at the Radio Awards on Saturday night who I worked with in about 2013.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen him since about 2015. Hadn't seen him. And then I was like, oh my gosh, there he is. And he was a young guy, started as an intern. His name was Jared, and for some reason we called him J-Lo. I just was like, we just started calling him J-Lo, J-Lo, J-Lo. And I yelled out from across the room, J-Lo! And he turns around and he's like, oh my gosh, Matty. He runs over to me and goes, I haven't been able to shake that. Have not. He goes, I hate it now, but I have not been able to shake it. I was like, I'm glad to have left a legacy of sorts. But there are some great nicknames. Like the one you call CJ, our producer, the paper straw. Because she works, but not for long. Did she not know that you call her that?
No,
that's really
she
awkward.
does not.
Or, especially on the work site, people get some cracking names like the cordless drill, someone who charges all night, but then only works for 2 hours. Or the sensor light only only's working when someone walks past. Or Perth, 3 hours behind everyone else. I love them so much. Potholes, because everyone tries to avoid them. Show bags, because they're foolish. I love it. But
Cold sore, no matter how much crap you put on them, they keep coming back.
that's a good one. E.T. just wants to go home.
There's a few of them working here.
You said it. Look, but this morning I discovered that I have been given a nickname that I didn't know about. And every morning at the same time, before I come to work, I go and get myself a coffee from a drive-through at McDonald's, which will remain nameless.
Yeah.
And they've gotten to the point now when I pull up to the speaker, I start ordering. They're like, welcome to McDonald's. What can I get for you? I'll go, can I just get a small latte? And then they'll go, with an extra shot and one sugar. I'll go, yeah, brilliant, great. We got to that point, right?
Yeah.
And that's been happening now for a little while. This morning, I pull up to the little speaker box thing, put the window down, and I could hear. You know how you can hear when they click on the microphone. You can go, okay, they're gonna ask me what I want. I could hear the microphone was already on, and then I could hear just off mic was like, "Early morning latte guys here." I was like, "Oh, that's me!
Yay!
I'm early morning latte guy, and I love it." I'm like, they know me. They've got a nickname for me. Which is fantastic. I'm
cute.
Early morning latte guy. And then
It's going to be hard to stick.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
No.
Doesn't roll off the tongue. But hey, that's what they want to call me. I'm happy with it. And I think it is very much a hospitality retail thing where you nickname your customers. Because when I was working in the bakery, back in the day, baker pastry chef by trade, we used to have someone that would come in and we would call her Neenish Tart. Right, because my boss thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world, and he's like, mate, if she ever comes in, just go, mate, the Neenish Tarts need restocking, right? So then he can go to the fridge and go, morning, how you going? So it was like, Neenish Tart, Neenish Tart, Neenish Tart. And then I did a little bit of a deep dive on a Reddit thread, which I love. And this one is, I worked at Macca's in the 90s, and we had a burger order with a bunch of substitutions we called the McBastard. Some guy ordered it every week, and we called him the McBastard guy. I made friends with him and eventually was able just to ask for the McBastard, as everyone in the store knew what he wanted in his burger at that point. So he just kind of go, I'll just get the McBastard, please. This one is at a sandwich shop. We have the safari couple who come in wearing nothing but khaki, matching khaki all the time. There's Weirdo Mike, who stares at all the girls, and the chip spitter, who will open the chips before he orders, eat a mouthful of chips, and then, in his order, spit the crumbs out. He's the chip spitter. And this one is, I used to order a flat mocha from the cafe downstairs when I worked in corporate. The Italian barista, when I started to walk in after a while, would call me Moccalicious. It was the highlight of my morning.
The Gina and Matty Podcast.
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.